And welcome to video number 3 in our series on how to make Karaoke CD+G discs. In this installation, we are going to be using Karaoke CD+G Creator. Now, this program is available on our site as well as other places on the internet. Simply install it. Once it's installed, click on it, and there's a bunch of different options we're going to show you here. What we're going to be using is the Karaoke Wizard, which is probably the most straightforward way of doing this. But just to show you some options that you can use, we're going to have to put our song in. We're going to have to put our lyrics in down here. You can do duets. We have a singer 1, singer 2. Set the colors on the lyrics, so each singer knows what their part is. All types of different options here. Editing, you can have a style that you put into it, which you can set up yourself, where you can put the introduction in, you can put a trailer out, things like that, so it just doesn't start with words and all during the intro they're just sitting there waiting for you to do something with it. So we're going to pop on to highlight a few of these different areas that you can work with here. Now this is where you're going to see where all that prep work that we've done was necessary and how it's going to pay off for us in the end here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Song Wizard. It's the easiest way to do this, and you've got different options here. We're going to create a karaoke song from a soundtrack and use the Power Wizard. Okay, so I'm just going to click Next. First thing we need to do is we need to get our soundtrack. Now, if you couldn't find the music you're looking for without vocals, you can, once the soundtrack is up here, you can run the Power Vocal Remover. Now, depending on how the song was recorded, sometimes it works well, sometimes it can be a little sketchy. I'm not going to go through every option in this program. However, it's all trial and error. The more you do stuff, the easier it'll get for you. Plus, there are help files here that tell you how to use different portions of it. And it does have disclaimers. Remember that Vocal Remover is not a magic tool. It might work for some songs. It does allow you to adjust volumes. Just keep in mind, if you're going to remove a vocal, there's give and take. If you're removing a certain person's voice, they may have recorded with some instrument of their own that they're playing on the same track, or different things in that same pitch area as their voice may be altered and removed as well. So let's go look for our soundtrack here, and we're working with this song, so we're going to stay with it. And it's looking at the MP3 that I downloaded. You'll see that on the left hand side of the screen it did bring the music in, the WAV file. Okay, I'm going to add my own lyrics. I'm not going to take the vocals out of this one because I've gotten a copy with some backup singers in it without the main lyrics. I'm going to go to Next. Now our next portion is going to allow us to put the lyrics in. Okay, and we did import the lyrics and we put them on a text file. We put them on a notepad. Also, what you see up here is it'll give you the option to preview the music. Okay, again, you're going to want to listen to this a little bit, your copy that you've downloaded, because you want to know what kind of lead-in time there is. Like in this instance, there's probably a good 30 seconds worth of lead-in music that I won't be using the lyrics in. Okay, so you want to know when you're going to start your editing process, and when to start highlighting letters and words to put in the karaoke player. So let's give it a shot here. Damn, that's loud, but you get the idea. You can adjust your listening volume down and do that. But it's a good idea to listen to it to see where everything is in fact coming in. Okay. Now we're going to import our lyrics. I'm going to import them from a text file, and Got them on my desktop here. And clicked on them, and there's my lyrics right here. Okay. You also see they've appeared. They've populated the screen below it. Now you'll see where the spacing that we did comes in crucial, because this is kind of the canter, or the, if you will, the way they're going to be sung, you know, in little types of groups. Plus, there's only so many words that'll fit on each individual screen at the same time, and we can choose how many lines during the final process, how many lines we want to put on a screen. Okay, so once we've gone there, we're going to hit next. Now it's time to start the synchronizing of the CDG that you're going to make. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, now we're on our synchronizing screen. It's going to give you the speed. What speed do you want to play that song at? If a song is pretty quick, you may not want to play it at a 1-to-1. You won't be able to tap your editing button fast enough to get the words to highlight. So it gives you the option of going half speed, 3/4 speed, or if it's a relatively slow song, you want to whip through it, you can actually go 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed. Okay, this song's relatively mild and easy, so we're going to leave it at, you know, just the regular normal speed, which is 1, the speed that it normally plays at. And again, what you might want to do as well is you might want to test it. Again, you want to count out bars or frames, how much lead in there is before you actually start editing. And I also want to listen through it to see if there is any break in it where I'm going to have to pause for an instrumental. At that point, we're pretty much at game on. Once I hit start synchronizing, the music is going to start, and it's going to start moving along here for me. Okay, so do a couple practice runs, read the directions. It tells you what to do and how to do this. Once I start to synchronize, the music will start, and to get words to highlight, you want to press your space bar, okay, and that will highlight the word. Now you're going to be tapping along to when the words come in, okay? And again, I'm not going to torture you with making you watch me synchronize this whole song, but just to give you an idea, and then we'll pop further along to show you how to finish this off. I see up here, it's in white. That's where it's going to start. Get your finger ready on your space bar, because when it starts to play, that's what you're going to have to start doing, tapping along. You'll see what I mean when it comes along here. Okay, song is about to start, where the lyrics come in. Okay, sitting there with the music going at it. Now you notice that right when I got to the very end of the lyrics, doesn't matter if there's music after it, once there's no more lyrics, it stops dead right there. Now from this point on, you can do some editing, you can rewind, you can do some other stuff. You also have the option later, because it's going to save a file, an unfinished file, that you can go back, bring it back into here and edit with. Again, I'm a novice, I'm not really good at it. Sometimes it's a lot quicker just to start over. Okay, but now we're going to go to our next step. Click Next. And do you want to adjust the synchronization? Do you want to create the CDG file? Do you want to apply visual style to the song? Okay, so I'm going to basically go into create the CDG file, and we're just going to find a place to save it, title it, and save it. It's going to be saved as a .pk2 file. Now, what I can do here is, this is where it's actually making the disk. I can do all kinds of options at this point. What I can do is decide what I'm gonna play it on a CD, or like an old karaoke machine, or am I gonna do it in a software player like Virtual DJ or Carafun or something like that. In this instance, I'm going to do it in a software player. The way you want the words to appear on the screen, if you want to sweep the words, it's kind of confusing if you're not really familiar with the song. It'll highlight them, drag them along. Do you want them centered? Do you want them off to one side, left or right? Colors do you want the words? How many lines per screen? Now this is kind of crucial here. Too many lines per screen, it starts bunching them up. I kind of want to have it close to being the way I spaced it. So I'm going to make it 4 lines per screen. Okay, another thing you want to look at here is display mode. How do you want it? Page by page. Overwrite it where the words appear and the other ones come in behind it. It overwrites it. Do I have to scroll on the screen? I personally prefer going page by page. Okay. Insert silence to accommodate the image. That's for bin files only, which are the ones that are actually used in a disk type of player. We're not using that, so we're going to click that off. And then, do I want the title to come on and credits after the song? Now, if you don't put something there, the words are just going to appear up on the screen and not start highlighting until the song physically starts. Well, here it gives you the option to make a title screen and to make a credit screen. So title, and what do I want for my title? Do I want it left, right, simple, etc. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. It's going to play it. Give it a second here because this does have an awful long lead in. But you'll see what happens. It's previewing it for you right now. See, I left sweep words clicked on there, and on the last word it kind of drags it out until the music starts. You can unclick that and it'll just highlight the word. Okay, just one of the things I wanted to point out. Okay, so now I got my CDG settings. Okay, we've already looked at that. Keep on screen for how long? Page by page, lines per screen, squeeze text. I can get rid of that sweeping words now if I want to. Number of different stuff. Things I can do here. And applying a style. This is where I'm going to get that credit screen at the back or the title screen at the front. There are things in the style editor here where you can pick a style, type in your song, your artist. If you want to put down that you made the karaoke, whatever, that's all fine. Type in your title, what's going to be at the bottom side. What do you want to use? What style? There are, again, pre-programmed styles in here. You can actually make your own if you'd like. A little tricky again, again, takes practice, but it gives you different options of how you want to play the game. Pretty cool stuff. So this is the one I'm going to use. Okay, I've applied that style, and now I'm going to create the CDG file. Okay, already have my settings, and this is what it's going to be saved as. Karaoke version, blah blah blah. Hit OK, and I'm not going to play it in the CDG player on this program because I've already done so. Now it's writing the file, and it has actually saved that file. Okay, now it's saved that file in the same place that I saved my backing track, where I pulled my backing track from. So you'll see here's a karaoke file, and there is our MP3. Now this is a very crucial step. Okay, the problem with this is, and that's why I renamed the song earlier. Okay, these two files have to match in name. Your MP3 and your CDG file that you've created, your KAR file. Okay, if they don't match, it won't play. Computers are stupid. The CDG portion of it, that only provides lyrics, visuals, things like that. The music still comes from your original MP3 that you had. Okay, so if these two are not named exactly the same, you put it into a karaoke player, it's just going to show you words with no music. Okay. Now I can go back in and I can edit if I'm not happy with it. Any number of different things. Change timing. I can change how long my intro page comes on, how long my credits stay on, how many seconds, etc. I mentioned earlier that if you do have a musical break in the middle, that is something that you would have had to have installed into your text file. You would have had to have counted it out when you're doing your spacebar stuff during the synchronization process. But again, you practice with it, you get better and better at it. As I say, I'm just a novice, just showing you the very basics of how this program works. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get out of the program. I don't want to save it. I've actually saved that karaoke file. I've made it and I've put it into my completed karaoke folder. And there is Shining Star karaoke version. And I'm also going to have to make sure that I do have my MP3 along with it. And what I'll do is I'm going to go into another video, a part 4, and just show you what the finished product looks like and why it is crucial to make sure that your file names are all the same and they're physically sitting in the same folder.